Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Zach, and in this video today, we're going to talk about the number one reason why you're not making enough money in sales, and then how to solve that problem and stuff you can do, day-to-day activities before the call, on the call, and after the call. So let's do it and listen up. All right, so the number one reason you're not making enough money, it's the pre-call routine, right? Like I have spent so much time trying to understand, like, all right, why do certain offers have such a high show rate? Why do certain offers have such a shitty show rate? And a lot of it comes down to the closer itself, right? Like I've managed sales reps. I've obviously been a sales rep for a long time as well. When I am handling my pre-call routine and spending more attention on that rather than even just a sales call, I ended up making more money, right? So like giving you an example, majority of people, they send a generic message like this. Hey, it's Zach at XYZ company, just confirming our call for XYZ time. Why the hell should they, one, respond to that and actually confirm the call? Even if he threw in, hey, could you confirm that you're going to be there? It's like that's not a reason for them to really answer. Another example would be bad, hey, it's Zach at XYZ company confirming our call, and then just dropping the resource link and saying, hey, make sure you watch this. Why the hell should the prospect watch it? Especially if you're in a B2B space or even in a B2C space with semi-professionals, or even worse, if you're just in a B2B, B2C space with, 9 to 5ers that are working all day, they don't know how to operate at this level. You're never going to make enough money with this type of free call routine. So what I've switched up over the last year here is, really spending majority of my time on my pre-call. And that's literally all you should be doing. If you're not on a call and you're not doing your data and you're not following up or dialing leads as a closer, you should be focusing on confirming the next opportunity. So here's a good example. Hey, it's Zach, your first text message. FYI, my business Instagram or an intro vid, you could take a selfie video, something about yourself so they know, all right, this is Zach. This is who I'm going to be talking to. And then the third one, I saw you reserved a call with me. You'll get a few automated emails, but just want to personally make sure you received XYZ resource. Did you get it? Why are they going to answer this more than the first other ones? You can comment it if you want. But the reason is because, one, it looks like an actual text message. It's not an automated message. You're calling out the elephant in the room. Hey, you will get a few automated emails. An automated text message isn't going to say that. Two, you're not going to send a personal Instagram page in an automated message. And second, why are they going to answer this? They're going to check their emails because they said you'll get a few emails. And then you ask a question, did you get it yet? If they did, awesome, they'll say yes. Then what you can do is send a ton more resources to make sure that they do their due diligence before the call. That's your only job as a closer. Make sure they have enough info before the call. That way you can only focus on urgency and certainty on the call, and you'll close way more. But this is the way. This is the way to make the most amount of money to your pre-call routine, and we'll talk about the second part of this in the next clip. All right, now here is the second part of this. On most high ticket sales offers, you'll have a form to fill out, right? If you're in sales, like why is right now the best time for this? How soon do you want to start? How much money do you have? Are you in the market for a business? What do you do for work? All these questions. Most of the time, like they can just lie on it. So like don't take too much, don't put too much weight on the form itself. But for your pre-call routine, you should definitely look at this hours in advance, not like 5 minutes before the call. So I got some examples of like the most important questions to kind of get a read on the actual prospect itself. So like, why is right now the best time for guidance? If the offer is legit, I'm ready to go. What the fuck does that mean? That doesn't mean shit, right? So as a closer, you should see that. You should be like, oh, shoot, this guy is definitely maybe a little bit skeptical. He should be understanding that this is a real opportunity before he gets on the call. So what would you do? Do your own research on your offer. Send resources. Send the business website. If you have like a brand, a person, a face to the offer, send their Instagram. Send some Instagram stories. All they need to make a decision, outside of obviously feeling confident, all this normal sales stuff, like having the urgency, all these things. The biggest deal killer right here is if the offer is legit. Like, John, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Here, show them before the call. That way you don't get, bit in the ass when you're dropping 10 to 15K or whatever your offer ticket price is. Right? So that's one example. And that's why the pre-call routine is so important, right? So now another example. In the market for a new business, so I'm adding yours to the pool. You'll see this a ton in Amazon done for you offers or, YouTube automation offers where, you're talking to like professionals, you're talking to business owners, but it's still a B2C sale because, it's still a biz op. They're still looking for an opportunity. So for this, what is this telling you? This guy, Gerald, let's call him Gerald. This guy is has multiple calls booked. He's looking at a few different things. He is a window shopper. Now, these are all assumptions. Never go into the call with a certain idea, but you should be prepared for these things, right? And obviously pattern recognition. So for this guy, if the offer or if the in the market for a new business, adding yours to the pool, same type of thing for this guy. What should you send? You should send tons of results. You should send tons of things to lead urgency. To give you an example, I sell crypto payment processing. So my biggest hurdle when I first started was, people didn't understand how fast and how many people are actually paying with crypto. That was my biggest objection all the time. People didn't have enough certainty in that. So for me, before the call, I have articles on articles, an entire Rolodex, of reasons and stats and data of millions of people spending on crypto. So in my offer, I would say, hey, if people are paying with crypto, I want to get started. I'm sending every article I got. Even if they read 2 or 3 of them, you're setting yourself up for a way better call because you're just addressing the elephant in the room. You don't got to dance. You don't got to do this, objection handling at the end. Majority of the call and the result happens right before the call in the 24 hours before, and then the first 15 minutes of the call as well. Realistically, the first 30 seconds, your first impression on the guy. And then another one, because my corporate job is laying people off and I want to get ahead, there is a website called layoffs.io or something like that. So this comes from knowing a little bit about everything. You don't have to be an expert at your offer. You just have to know a little bit about everything. Find your own resources, find your own Rolodex. For somebody like this, I have a resource where it literally tracks the amount of layoffs happening in the corporate world. So send that, be like, hey, my boss sent me this. Isn't this crazy? Have you seen this? And they're going to see 22,000 people laid off. They're going to see 15,000 people laid off. What's that going to do? It's going to amplify their current pain going into the call, and then throw in resources. Then throw in why this offer is the best time now. Throw in all of that. The John that was going to slap you across the face and say he needs to think about it before the call, now all of a sudden, all right, he's ready to make a decision. Now it's up to you to be a professional. If you don't handle this like this, you're never going to make the most amount of money. You're just going to get the people that did their own research and went in their own way to get everything that you should have been presented to them in the first place. So if that makes sense at this point of the call, maybe drop down an example where this bit you in the ass, or maybe drop down in the comment section like, oh, shoot, I had an offer the other day that the guy came on and said the exact same thing in the form. I didn't catch it, right? Because this is stuff. You got to keep it a habit. Another example, how soon do you want to start this business? This is giving you a very good read on their mindset coming into the call. So let's say a guy says ASAP. What do you send this guy? This, I would personally send a ton of results. I would send the founders either Instagram or website, whatever they have, whatever you guys have. I would send the reason why people are making a ton of money now. In my case, how many people are spending crypto, in an e-commerce space, why e-commerce is crushing the brick and mortar business, all these different types of resources to just amplify their current pain. That's all you're doing. And then going into, let's say, within the next 2 months, there is a common, time frame where it's like, if they come on to the call and they're like, yeah, I want to get started in the next 6 months, there's not a lot you can do unless you just provide the most amount of urgency to get them to make a decision on the call. However, if it's a 2 to 3 month decision for them, that is short enough time frame to get them to do it now. I did that the other day. A guy said he wanted to start in 2 months. What happens? He pays $10K on the first call, right? So this is stuff that you have to pay attention to. So for the guy in the next 2 months, I'll give you an example for my offer. People think that crypto and this adoption, it's happening in so long. Like it's going to happen in a year or 2, 3, 4, 5 years, when in reality, it's happening right now today. So what do I said? Hey, this is how many people are spending it right now. These are the big companies that are killing the market right now. And this is why if you wait the next 2 months, dude, you're not even going to have the opportunity in the first place. So you got to send opportunity costs. Another example, if you guys are real ASAP, that comes down to the same resources you would send for this. Same thing for this. Not sure, want to verify the legitimacy first. These people are normal people. They're nervous. They've been on calls before, or even worse, they've never been on a call and they're scared. It is up to you to change their lives. It is literally up to you. I've sold thousands and thousands of people, and I get texts to this day of people where I'm not even on the offer anymore. They're texting me, be like, yo, I just wanted to say thank you again. I've changed my life. I remember the first call, like, hey, I got my daughter into college. I did this, I did that. You are genuinely changes people's lives. And you don't have to wait for them to do it themselves. You're the professional. So yeah, this is the number one way. If you focus on all of these things here, focus on your pre-call routine rather than your fancy objection handling or your fancy discovery questions, you're going to make a ton more money just from this. Okay. So if you guys enjoy this video, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe if you guys want. I'll be making more videos like this. And yeah, keep selling. Let's go.